Hi bestie, welcome to my new cozy coloring series where we're slowly coloring through every single page within the Cozy Home coloring book. I've got my markers ready. These are Ohuhu markers and I will put a little discount code here on the screen if you want to get 10% off if you do want to treat yourself to these. Coloring is literally my favorite self-care hobby at the moment and it's just the perfect way to slow down, relax and unwind each week. So let's get started. I thought we could just chat, relax and take our time coloring through this first page together. This is literally the perfect page as we're in June. Summer is literally begun and it's just giving the coziest coastal vibes. So I'm just putting my little protective page behind since these pages are quite thin and the markers will bleed through. So I'm just gonna put that here. Hopefully it's safe even though it doesn't fully cover it all the way. And just put my markers down on this page. I'm trying to keep this as real time as possible, but do let me know if you want the videos to go at a much quicker pace. So we're starting with YR250 for her skin tone. And I don't have a proper skin tone set within the little collection I'm using today, so I'm hoping that it will be okay. So that's the skin done, and if I did want to add a little bit of shadows, I'll just go over some areas with a second layer. Like that. And then maybe just around her neck area. And then for her jean shorts, I am thinking of like a light blue denim. I don't know if aquamarine is too blue. Maybe I could also do like a cornflower blue. But this is quite a limited colour set. So I think I might cheat and grab a colour from my bigger set. pale blue could be quite cute, so I might grab that. The hardest thing is finding the right colours. So I've got the 120 for the jean shorts. And I'm hoping this gives off like a light denim look. Yeah, that looks quite nice. I am trying to keep it simple and not worry too much about doing lots of details or shading, and just make this more of like a relaxing series for us. So I'll put this on this side, and I love pink a lot, so I think naturally we should just go into pinks now. I've already got shadow pink in my hands, which is, let me just show you. So I've already got this shadow pink color, and I think a little ombre could be quite cute for her top. So I could start off with fruit pink and then go into pink rather than shadow pink. So I'm just gonna grab those. To be fair, I think I was kidding myself thinking I could just use the smaller set. I might try it one of the other videos, but I think now that I've got a bigger set, I am used to having a bit more options. So I'm grabbing R21, and I'm also grabbing RV260. So I've got R21 and RV260, and I'm going to try and do a little ombre top effect. Hopefully it looks cute. So starting with R21 at the very top of the top. And I'm just doing it in smooth circles. And then I'm using RV260 to blend that down. And then with the same colours, I will probably do the beach ball, so I'll just do them alternating. And to keep it simple, I can probably do it for the bunting at the top and maybe that little sailboat as well. So let me just carry on with those two colours. For the water, I'm starting with B030 Frost Blue, and then I'm gonna do BG68, which is turquoise blue. I might start with this one at the outer edges of the water and then bring it a bit lighter as we come in. And then I think I'll also grab my white acrylic marker. And this one. Maybe my yellow one, I might do sunrays. Yeah. And this would just be to show the water crashing onto the shore and also just the waves here. So starting with BG68. And then grabbing Frost Blue. And then I was thinking of grabbing a little bit of a brighter blue just to make it look brighter, but I'm not sure, it could be okay. I might grab, I feel like pastel blue might be too bright. I might just grab it. I think pastel blue could work, so I'm just gonna grab that. So I've got PB7. And I'm just going to use it really lightly, just sort of around the top and just above where some of the waves are crashing. And then go back to turquoise blue, BG68. And just drag it a little bit further down as well. Yeah, I think that's good. And then I'm just going to grab Frost Blue again and just blend that out a little bit more. Yeah, so it looks like it's moving, it's not just stagnant. And then I've got my T001 acrylic marker from Artix. Just gonna shake it. Okay, and oh, actually, I might be better off doing the sand first and then using this. So I'm just gonna try and see what color would work best for the sand. There is literally a color called sand, so that could be a good start. Okay, I think that could work. I might grab sand. And I might also grab dark suntan. And maybe potato brown or rose beige. Yeah, I think I'll grab sand, rose beige, and dark suntan. So I've got sand to do for all over the sand, and then I'll use rose beige and dark suntan to do little specks and just add a bit of dimension. So we'll start with E220, which is sand. This is my first time doing, it might be a bit too dark. Maybe a bit too dark. I've just done a little dot of it in the corner and I don't know if I like the look of that. So, I might just do something, I don't know. I might just do buttercup yellow, which is Y120. So I've got Y120. I feel like this could be a bit more forgiving if I don't like how it looks, whereas the sand color kind of just looked a bit too dark. And this is quite pale, but I think it could work. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna move this paper down a bit just to protect the bottom part of the page. Okay, and then I'm just winging this, by the way. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm using E220. I think I will just use that to add like some patchy bits of shadows, but I hope this looks okay. I don't know. And then I'll use it to add some like dots so the sand looks textured. And then I do want them to have different dimension. So I'm going in with BR3, which is rose beige, and just adding more of those little specks. It doesn't have to look neat. I think the messier the better, but I've never done sand before, so this is a bit of a learning curve for me. And then next I'm going in with E110, if it will focus. I think this could add a bit more depth, and I might do them in more tighter clusters. But I don't know. I don't really know if that's giving sand. I might go back in with that sand colour again and just do smaller dots. Yeah, I think that's helping a lot. I think my dots were too big, and that was what the issue was. I'm just using the fine liner side of the marker to help me get some smaller looking dots, which look a bit more grainy. And then I'll probably do the fine liner side of the dark suntan E110 as well. Okay, I think that looks good. And I will now go in with my white. Oh, I totally forgot to do those little bits. I might just make that blue, just to make it easy, rather than making it sandy. There we go. And essentially I want to blur out this black line here so that it just looks like, oh, I don't know if my marker's running low. I need to shake it properly. essentially just do lots of white specks. So it looks like water crashing onto the shore. My marker does look very low on pigment, so I might have to keep shaking it. But I'm hoping you can see what I'm going for. So where there's harsh black lines, I'm kind of just going over it with this marker. Let me pause and try and fix it. It's not working too well. I think I will have to go back over again, but for now I'll just do what I can. It looks like there is still enough ink in it, so I'm not sure why it's not coming out. I'll check if I have another marker I could use instead. Try another one. Okay, I've decided to give up on this for now and I'll come back to it hopefully when it decides to work. I'll just leave it upside down and hopefully the ink will run downwards. I will move on to, trying to think, I might do this little area here. I do want to get more blues to match the sea and her shorts. So I'm thinking either the cushions or I could do the wall with the back blue, which could be quite nice. So I'm thinking to just use that same frost blue colour and just do the back wall here. Oh, let me move the paper off now. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I think I missed a bit of a top there. And I'm trying to understand. I think this is all part of the wall as well. So and then I think this is part of the wall as well. maybe that's enough blue for now. Let me go back in with RV260 and just patch up her top a little bit. Okay, and then where else to use pink? I'm trying to think, but doing it smartly and not just... I do want to do like an orange sky, so I could start with a bit of oranges now. I'm just gonna have a little look at my swatch card. So one of my go-to oranges is like mellow peach and light orange, and quince is quite nice as well. So I might grab light orange, quince, and then for a bit of a pop I could just grab apricot or orange. So I'm going to grab those three colors and see what we can create. Okay, so I've got a light orange YR070, quince Y4, and apricot Y10. I'll start with light orange, and I think I'll do the little cushion. And then I'll use quince to do, trying to think, maybe a little pattern. I could do, oh, it's quite the same. It's quite a similar shade actually. I might use apricot then. I might do like, oh, that's quite cute. And then I'll do a solid orange for this one. And I'm not sure what to do with the other one. I might go in with light orange again and just maybe do a similar pattern as the other one. And I'm trying to keep my colour palette quite controlled because sometimes I end up adding in too many mixes of colours. And then I'll go back in with apricot, which is Y10, and then just do the same pattern. Yeah, then that looks cute. And then I grabbed R9 Pastel Rose. I'm gonna do a little dab on her cheek for a bit of blush, and then also the tip of this bowling ball and these slippers. And then I think this, oh, this could be too clashy, but I think for the seat she's sat on, it could work. and for her little drink umbrella. And then I was thinking to do the same for the watermelon, make it more of like a soft colour, and then I might go in with a bit of a stronger red. And then also the little flower in her hair. And I was thinking to do a little stripe detail on the bunting up here. And maybe also on the sail. Okay, I think that's looking cute. I will probably do the swing set in just normal pink, which is V60. Because I'm trying to think, like, if I had a little beach house, what colour would my decor be? I think it would be a lot of pinks and blues. And then I'll balance out the buttercup yellow I used for the base of the sand with her hair, and I think the rope on her swing set, and then maybe the little table holding the items, but I'll start with her hair. And then I'll do the ropes around the swing set first. I'll leave the little table for now. It might not work with that colour, so I'm just gonna wait a little bit and see what other colour ends up making an appearance. Okay, I think this is looking really good, and I might also do the same. Okay, let me wait a bit and then I'll make any decisions. Okay, so I think that's looking good. I will probably add another little bit of pink to her hair tie there. I think I used Armine Pastel Rose. I just missed that little detail. And I'll also do her straw that same colour. And I have an idea. Because of the green on the watermelon, I'm thinking of doing her little coconut shell green and just pretend she's drinking like matcha or something. So I'm gonna grab my greens and see what could work. And then also start thinking a little bit about the trees in the background. I think I'm quite drawn to like spectrum green or shadow green for this. So I think I might do spectrum green on the table and then a leaf green for the little, like a shadow green for the little mug she's holding. Okay, I'm gonna grab shadow green and spectrum green. Okay, so let me just clear this up a little bit. Okay, so I've got GY172, which is spectrum green, G420, which is green shadow. Oh, it's green shadow, not shadow green, by the way. So I'm starting with this one, and I'm thinking of just doing it over this little table she's got here. I think that will balance my palette out. And then I might do the same green in her cup too. And then use green shadow for the watermelon. Okay, perfect. And then also I'll just use it very softly to add some shadows. Gorgeous. And I'm also using shadow pink to make this look a bit more patchy. Okay, I think that's looking really good. I'll probably leave the little plate white and I might do these little flip-flops. I'm debating doing them green. Yeah, I think that could balance it out actually. Let me do them spectrum green. That's quite cute. And then I'll have a think about what type of green to do for the leaves and the little hill in the back. I don't want to throw my palette off too heavily, so I could just stick to the same type of green. Trying to think what would complement like an orange sky the best. I might leave it for now and come back to it. I think next I'll probably do the wooden structure detailing. Yeah, I'll do the wooden structure. I'm gonna grab My usual go-to is marigold, but I can't tell if it's too harsh, if I should do yellowish brown instead, but then that might blend in with the sand a bit too much. So I think I'll just go with marigold, which is YR2. So I'm just gonna grab that. Okay, so I've got YR2. I'll use it for this little wheel first. It might be too dark. I think I will go with yellowish brown. And then just use this for the wooden detailing. So I've got yellowish brown, which is YR260. I don't know, but yellowish brown looks too pale. Oh gosh, okay, well, I'm just gonna finish this first layer and then try and see. I might just do it anyway. I think let me stop procrastinating and just go for it. To be honest, it doesn't clash too much, and I can always make it stand out more with the wooden details, so it's okay. I'm gonna move the little protective sheet down a bit. Okay, so that's done. I'm grabbing, where was it now? Don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. I'm grabbing YR2 and I think I'll grab the fine line side and just sort of do like wooden details. BR3. Sorry, I dropped a marker. I'm using BR3, which is rose beige, to do a bit of the shadow. I'm not being too mean here because I do want it to just look quite textured overall. Yeah, that's looking good, and I'll do some splotches. Yeah. Also use E110 for some of the more stronger shadows. Okay, I think that's looking good for the wood, and maybe this hanging wall one. I'm just doing a little detailing. And what else can I do? I might grab pale blue from before, which was B120, and just do a few shadows for the blue and on the wall as well. Okay, I think that's already looking a lot better. And I'm grabbing R9 again, which is pastel rose, and I'm just doing a deeper shadow there. And on the boat and the bunting, and I think I might just do a little bit of the top of the top. Yeah. Okay, I think that's looking cute. I do have these little shelves on the side. Let's have a look. I'm thinking maybe like pastel peach and barely beige, so it's like a colour but not really. So we'll do pastel peach and barely beige. So I've got R18 and R19, but I don't think they'll show up a lot on camera. It's just so that it doesn't look too empty. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then what else have I got? And then I've got the sky. Let me do the sky first, and then I'll decide what kind of green will go well with it. I did want to do a very sunset sky, so I think I will use that buttercup yellow a tiny bit, and also maybe mellow peach could work, or even fruit pink, which I've already got, and light orange. Yeah, so buttercup yellow, fruit pink, light orange, and then I'll end with quince and maybe a little flecks of apricot and pastel rose. So I have quite the lineup. I'll try and talk through it as much as I can. But the key with doing ombre skies is to just keep blending. So I'm just getting my colours in order. So the key I do is I just hold the colours I need and have them on my lap. So I'm starting with buttercup yellow. And this will be at the very bottom of the sky. And it doesn't need to be perfect because a lot of it will be blending, but try and get it as solid as you can at the very bottom. Okay, so then I'm moving on to R21, and I hope this is the right next colour. Sometimes it needs a different transition. This could be a bit harsh, so I might go in with the light orange. Yeah, that could have been. Still not a perfect transition, but I will grab something to try and blend that out a bit more. I might just use buttercup yellow again. Yeah, and that's fine. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then I'll carry on with that light orange colour. And then use Y4 quince at the top. And move this up as well. And I might use quince a little bit further down where that buttercup yellow ends. And then at the very top, I could use apricot and, whoa, okay. That could be a very bold sunset. And I'll blend that out with quince. And also fruit pink. And what else have we got? I think I wanted to add pastel rose as well. So I'll just do flecks of that throughout. There we go. I think that's a very gorgeous looking sunset. Let me add a yellow sun actually. I don't want it to be too harsh, so I might just stick to the buttercup yellow theme. Yeah, I think that really works. And then now onto the last bits of green. I'm honestly not sure. I think pale green and grass green could be my best bet. I'm just gonna grab GY1 and GY2. So these are the two colours that I've got for the last details of the leaf and the hill. I also still need to come back to this beach so I can make it look a bit more like water crashing. But I'm just gonna do these first. Yeah, I think that looks bold enough without looking too harsh. I could use this green to add some really soft, well, not too soft, but harsh enough shadows. Yeah. that's looking quite nice. And then I will use GY2 to add some texture to that hill. And I'm keeping it very compact at the bottom and then sort of spreading out as it goes higher up. I really like that detailing. I think for the little boat, I'm gonna just go back in with Buttercup Yellow. Oh, perfect. And then I'll also use it for this lantern here. And in very me fashion, I will make that lamp holder pink. So I'll do pink and maybe fruit pink as well. So I've got RV260 and R21, but I think I'll just do a solid pink to start off with. And then I might do some little pink flower detailing, like little petals. This isn't dark enough. I think I need pastel rose for this detail, yeah. Even that's quite pale. That's okay. And then I think to make it look more like a light glow, I do need maybe yellow dahlia. Can make it just like a bit more. So I've got Y260 and I'm just doing that in the very center of the glow and the very center of the sun, and then going back in with Buttercup Yellow and blending that out. And still with yellow dahlia in hand, I'm just gonna do a little outline on the little rope detailing. Bit on the boat and a little bit in her hair. And then I think the earring she's wearing, maybe I'll make that like a bright orange. Yeah, bright orange is nice. I might do a little orange detailing on the little shells, make them pop a bit more. And I think if I can get my C looking right, we should be almost finished. It's still not doing what I want, but that's okay. I'm just gonna do my best. I'm honestly not sure why it's not really working too well today. I'm just adding some white details to the sand. And a little bit around the sun. So here's how today's page turned out. Thank you so much for coloring with me. I hope this was a cozy little space for you to just relax and unwind with, and I will see you next week for episode 2. We'll be coloring this page together next Wednesday, so make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on so you don't miss it when it goes out. And bye bestie, I appreciate you all so much, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you that comes here every single week and just leaves such a kind comment in the comment section below. I notice and read every single one of them, and they warm my heart so much, and I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments if you colored along with me using the same color palette, or what color palette you chose to use if you did your own page a little bit differently. Bye bestie.